What's up, investors? Ken here from the Dyslexic Investor, and we got an awesome little thing that we're doing today. We're doing the 100 most popular stocks within Robinhood. So I'm going to put the link in the description below on how Robinhood tracks this, on their popularity. So we're just going to be going through 100 of all these stocks and these tickers, and we're just going to kind of go in a rapid fire session, and I'm just going to give you a quick technical analysis. Again, these are my own opinions. These are not to be traded on. These are just stock ideas. I might have some of these positions in the portfolio and so forth, but this is just a fun little thing. I wanted to go through the 100 most popular stocks within Robinhood, and let's go. All right, very first one, we have ACB. Boom. Aurora Cannabis. Okay, downtrend. Don't want to touch that. Next, Ford. F. Again, if I mispronounce something or something again, I am dyslexic, so if you don't know anything about dyslexia, I have troubles reading and with grammar and spelling, so I might mess things up. Put it down in the comments. I don't care. Let's go. All right, so Ford, it's kind of chop. Would not be buying this. I would like to see this kind of, actually, I take that back. It needs to probably test the 200 here, and then there'll be a nice little go there. So next, GE, boom. GE's kind of been beaten up, again, trading in a range, hitting this top up here at 1175 and kind of been pulling back. This potentially could go higher. I like it's holding the 21. I would be looking at that as a potential uptrend there. We got Fitbit, FIT. They just got announced that they're going to be probably getting acquired by Google. That's the huge pop up here, and kind of just trading ish in this range here. So wouldn't be really touching it. It's kind of like a done deal. Another one we have is G Pro, or also known as GoPro, which this stock has been absolutely hammered. Again, downtrend. They don't have their special sauce anymore. Really wouldn't be touching this. Just kind of looking at a downtrend here. You can do a quick analysis of just doing these little trend lines here. It kind of needs to kind of break above this. It's below the 200. Not a fan right now. Msft Microsoft. Love this stock. Owner for their portfolio. Would like to add more. It's just been hitting at its all-time highs. Apple. Here we go. Hitting all-time highs. I wanted to add into this. I should have added into this around the yellow line. So if you see a lot of this thing on the daily charts here that I look at, is my yellow line. My yellow line is the 21 moving average exponential. So it's 21 days look back on the close of a moving average. So this is kind of like more of a momentum side of like investing or trading, so being a little bit more aggressive. You can do a 34 or the 50, depending on what your trade style is. I like to do the 21 because I don't sometimes always trade options against it. I love Apple. Next one is the Disney. Oops. Need to make a quicker way of DIS. There we go. It's got a great run up. Kind of consolidating. Didn't break the 21, so I think it's still a buy for me. I want to kind of see it leveling off a little bit because I don't like this sell point. They do also have dividends coming up down below. Crone, another cannabis stock, I believe. Not 100% sure. Yeah, that's a cannabis stock. All these cannabis stocks are kind of going down here. You just kind of need these to level off. Like the yellow line is still going in a downward projection. It just needs to level off and continue to go higher. Another surprise, got another cannabis growth, CGC. Same pattern that we just saw. Kind of, it is just leveling off a little bit better, but still, that quarter was a kind of dismal. But I wouldn't be touching this. I'm not too well aware of it. Technically speaking, don't like it. AMD, fantastic semiconductor. Has been a huge run up. So you see the 21 is definitely a good set of support. This would be buying it topish-ish, but I would be looking at probably potentially adding any positions if you do around the 21 again. So Snap, come on. So this is their social media. This has been in crazy consolidation. had a bad run into the quarter, didn't do as terrible, kind of had a run up, and now just kind of consolidating. This could be a fantastic opportunity to look at more of a technical side of things here. That's not, didn't, yeah, there we go. We want to draw, no, okay, this is what I sometimes hate use Thinkorswim. This is going into like a wedge pattern. All right, so what this means is if it goes higher, it's going to go above this line. If it's going to go lower, it's going to break below that line. Simple as a dimple. I actually want to add that to a potential quick trade there for snap. And then we're doing PLUG, plug power. Oh my gosh, like, okay, this thing is a whipsaw. You can kind of see here, it kind of goes up, sells past the 21, kind of consolidates around the 34-ish. This is kind of what's happening here. I would be kind of keeping this on a short leash if you do decide to get into it. Want to see this trade sideways. It is kind of hit over the RSI down here, a little over in the overbought, and then kind of sold off a little bit. Again, this is just technically speaking. I wanted to level off just a hair. We got the FB for Facebook. This thing has been very range bound as well, between like 210 and like 175. It's kind of been crawling back after all the different allegations. It's still holding the 21. All the moving averages are, if not even, pointing upwards to the right. It's great potential. RSI is still not showing as oversold. That's when it hits the red up here. Usually could be a potential pullback. Doesn't mean always it's going to pull back. But these signs are of buying if it pulls to the 21. Again, I like to keep things simple. Next we have Tesla. Here we go, Tesla. Love Tesla. I have some charting on this already. You can see here, this is the top for me. If this kind of consolidates as it is right now, this is fantastic looking. I would like to buy some more of this. Zynga, which is ZNGA. The mobile game. Okay, wow. That's really that's a really tight. This would be some kind of breakout. This would be hard to calibrate. I would be, again, I'm the more optimist. I would see this probably be going higher if it can break like and close above like the $6.30-ish, $6.35 level there. And then we're gonna go to TWTR, which is Twitter. This thing, whew. You can kind of see here with the swings up, swings down, and the biggest moves usually come around earnings. You can see here, these are down here, you have the earnings calls there throughout, and they're basically range bound. Like, again, we're trading at its near-term low in this year. Let's just do a quick, let's change in the pace here. So this is a weekly chart for 3 years. It's been range bound. If you wanted to take a position, this would be hard because all these moving averages are pointing straight down, and I'd rather see in Facebook than Twitter. And then we're going to go to the king of online, the AMZN. This is Amazon. This stock is super compelling. It is totally range bound here as well. Super coiled, completely in the sense of, if I'm just doing a really short-term evaluation here. And Siri is trying to be talking to me. Oh my gosh, that stupid phone. It's super range bound. So just keep an eye on Amazon there. It's kind of an expensive stock. Probably should be trading it with options and so forth. It's a $1,700 stock. Alibaba, BABA. It's a nice simple ticker. Hitting all-time high. This is a very bullish looking chart. Wouldn't be buying up here on all-time high. Would kind of see a little bit of a pullback. And then we're going to go to Uber. Uber. I did some analysis on this a couple videos ago. It needs to break this trend line. It's really below a lot of other moving averages, and we kind of need to see this thing kind of start breaking out and seeing any potential of it rallying. Then I'm scrolling down on the other screen. So we're going to go to a energy stock of CHK, Chesapeake Energy Corp. A lot of these guys has been beaten up because if it's trading below the 200 on a daily and it's nowhere near it, I usually don't like the bottom fish, and the stock is at 76 cents. That's not really a stock I want to put my money to. As a throw $100 and see what happens. If that's your prerogative, you go right ahead. That's not my kind of trade. Now we're going to go to BAC. This thing has been off the races. I've been analyzing this one forever between the 30 and 28 range. It's just been bouncing back and forth. It's broken out from that, and I see it going substantially higher for Bank of America. So we got NIO, which is Tesla's competitor in Japan. This thing has a huge run up. Technically speaking, it's trending down. It's not doing completely terrible. It's a newer IPO labeled stock. I would, if you buy into it now, I would literally want to sell out and keep it on a very short leash. I wouldn't want to short it because it's at $2. It stops at 0. So Netflix, NFLX. This thing has been range bound. This kind of had a lot of competition from Disney Plus. You can kind of see here. This is my all-time high up here at 385.99. Just call it 386. It basically had a double top and it just crashed down due to a lot of earnings, and seeing it kind of bolster up of just trying to compete in the market. It's interesting. It's still below the 200, which again, it needs a break between that because that's a lot of the value guys are standing there, and gals. So I wouldn't be buying that hand over fist as well. So we're gonna do AT&T, which is ticker symbol T. Great dividend play if you like dividend. This is going to be a great little stock for you. I actually want to buy more. This is actually a great opportunity to buy some more here. That's actually a definitely strong buy for me there. Then SBUX, which is Starbucks. Get your cup of coffee. This is a fantastic pattern too. It's kind of come down. This is what I'm talking about, where it kind of consolidates and levels off. These moving averages are starting to come up. The moving average is leveling off and starting to coil higher. So that is a good sign there. Started a nice little position in that. Next, we have NVIDIA, NVDA. Fantastic. This thing has been really banged over the head the last couple years, or year-ish. It's kind of been trading below 200, broke out the summer of this year, and kind of traded around it and then moved its way up. Definitely super bullish on this. I really like it for a long-term investment. APHA, I think there's a pot stock. Yeah, it's the same like everyone else. Like, it's just kind of consolidating down. Like, it's not worth my time. Groupon, GRPN. This thing has been range bound as well. Had a huge sell-off, trading below the 200, which is this lovely little teal dotted line here. Kind of see here it hit up here, bounced, it kind of broke in between here for a little bit, but after horrible earnings, kind of sold off and just been trading sideways. This, if you want to take a small position at this for the upside, I would be getting out at the 200 level, so it'd be like around the 315, 320 level, and then have a really tight leash on it. I wouldn't even do the 275. I would just basically have it at like 250-ish. So 250-ish, really tight, and go from there. Next is Square, which is SQ. Fantastic. This is actually one I want to actually get into. I've been watching this. I want it to break above the 200. I think this space has fantastic potential on moving forward. So that's that. Sprint. What are you gonna say about Sprint? Like, they were gonna be they're gonna be merging, but that didn't happen, and that's just been a down tailspin for them. If you want to completely bottom fish, I would call this a double bottom, actually maybe a triple bottom, and for potentially going higher. Next is Sirius Xm, which is this SIRI. That's wow. That's actually, I didn't know this was that great performer. That's above the 200. Check. It's all the moving averages are slightly consolidating, kind of going higher. It's kind of a little bit of a consolidation. This could be. They had earnings. It was great. Well, they actually pay a dividend too. Wow. Okay, that's really interesting. Like, that'd be something cool to look into. Like, I was a little bit more negative than I thought on that. Coca-Cola, another great dividend play. This is just something that's been kind of off to the races due to the people fear of recession, kind of sold off a little bit. This is just a strong, easy goer to hold in your portfolio for a really long time. So we're going to go to VOO. This is going to be an ETF, which mimics the S&P 500. So this is going to look like the S&P 500. Always go with a Vanguard fund. They are fantastic, lovely people, and they will do you right. Beyond Meat, this is actually what we do own for the portfolio. This has been a really underperformer. We bought in around the 78, 77 level, and it's just been trading sideways for us here and going down just a hair. We want to kind of see this level off and potentially break above the 21, and then we'll go from there. Next, we have CRBP. This looks like a pharmaceutical. Yep, a pharma company. Not sure, technically speaking, it's below the 200. Breaking, all the moving averages are pulling up, which just could be a potentially looking at something that is more fundamentally driven. A lot of pharmaceutical companies are very fundamentally driven due to approval and different various traits and different things that they have going to market or potentially being tested in the market. This would be an interesting stock to see. A lot of the moving averages are pulling back. See some resistance around the $5.60 level, and you can continue seeing it going up because this did kind of level off a little bit and pulling up higher. Now it kind of needs to break through these little top ceiling of resistance up above it. And Slack is WORK. We actually did own this for a little bit and got out of it real fast because bought in around 31-ish. We bought here and then sold out around 29 because it's somewhat consolidating down here. I do like this pattern. I wouldn't be buying in heavily. Again, a lot of these you don't want to bottom fish. Like, it's going to be very difficult to figure out the true bottom. With that being said, it's newer IPO this year. They do have a great product. I do enjoy it. But this needs to consolidate, and these moving averages are leveling off, which is good. Again, it doesn't have a 200 moving averages because it hasn't been on the market for very long. And the market needs to kind of slowly curve upwards, which is by a nice little speculative play, as I may call it. ATVI, which is Activision Blizzard, a gaming company we also own for the portfolio. Love this stock. I see much higher projections on this. Again, it's above the 200. Check. I got to see here on my notes of get out. It's close below, and we cut the position slightly over here, I believe, and then we wanted to add some more, but we didn't, and then it kind of bounced back from there. Love this stock. Would like to add more. Nike, which is NKE, fantastic stock, hitting all-time highs. This could be a double top. You might see a little bit of a pullback, maybe to the 10 exponential moving average, or the 10 simple day moving average, or even the 8, or even the 5, to be quite honest, if it's super momentum and how short your time horizon for investing is. Lyft, LYFT, another ride-sharing hailing group like Uber. It's performing stock-wise a little bit better. It's leveling off, but it's nowhere near of getting to any kind of breakout. It needs to consolidate some more. The shorter-term moving averages are coming back down and might cut this and potentially go lower before it goes higher. MU, wonderful stock. Definitely here range-bound as well. Again, above the 200. Not performing as well as NVIDIA and AMD, but that being said, they still have a potential of going higher. I like this consolidation. I like this, all the moving averages kind of going up and down. We do very small tops here. These are going to be a lot of resistance. This could be a triple top. Again, depending on how Monday opens up and how we trade, things could go significantly higher. All right, so V for Visa, which is a credit card. Love this. This has just been kind of trading sideways for basically, I wouldn't even say this whole year, but majority of the year it's been somewhat after the summer due to recession and all the various trade wars. It's just been trading sideways. This is very range bound, If it breaks above the 186, fantastic. If it breaks below these guys down here, it hits the 200, because this 200-day moving average is catching up with it, and then it could potentially wait for it to catch up, and then it could just zoom off again. Next one is VSLR. Oh, I spelled that wrong. VSLR. There we go. It's a solar company, I think. This is nothing to really write home about. I like this 200-day as support. If you want to buy into it, potentially your stop out is the 200-day. That's all I got to say for that one. Intel is INTC. This thing's kind of been beaten up. You can call this a double top up here. This would be difficult to get into. I would actually be looking to not get into this. I would rather choose a better performer than Intel, like an AMD or something, because they've just kind of taken over the market from them. Nokia. Yeah, I wouldn't touch that. That's terrible. That's a horrible quarter. Huge drawdown. It could be consolidating, but this is not a good sign for me. This is after every quarter kind of consolidates and jumps around. I wouldn't be putting any money in there. It would be kind of just pure speculation gambling. PG&E. Yeah, that's interesting. It's like okay, seeing some resistance here. Again, below the 200-day. Things are slightly leveling off. I like this. The moving averages are breaking above the 21, going higher. Again, you can kind of see here multiple roofs of resistance could be up here. So we have a double top up here already, and they kind of sold off from there. This could be very close to that happening again. Overall, seeing a pretty downtrend. The blue teal line kind of does that for you there. Cisco, CSCO. This is another play that is highly leveraged to China. You can kind of see here I have a potential buy opportunity for myself on this position here. But the thing is there's too much red for me to buy into this right away, due to the fact that I need a couple green candles to kind of level this off. You can kind of see here, this just crossed the 200-day via the quarter a couple months ago in August, and this kind of hasn't been able to make a comeback and just kind of slowly selling off, mostly likely due to the trade wars. JCPenney, oh my gosh, this is a blast in the past. Again, it's $1. I really don't want to play this. It's going to be too heavily driven by a lot of algos. It needs to break between the 200. You can kind of see here, it's been a couple days that it broke out and continue to go higher. I'm not seeing too much light for that. Then we have SPY, which is the S&P 500. Fantastic. We are hitting near all-time highs. Definitely like to see where we go from here. Want to be diving into the market fully with 100% of my position. TLRY, another pot stock. Again, downwards, down, down, down. This stock used to be $300, guys. Okay, $300. You can kind of look here. Boom, $300, and look at that horrendous slide down. Wouldn't be touching that with a 10-foot pole. PayPal, PYPL. This is kind of like the same instant Square is in, same industry. Below the 200, which is kind of strange for PayPal. PayPal has been such a leader, but I think people are just a little hesitant on the overall payment marketplace because everyone has their own payment system now. It's like PayPal doesn't have the edge that it used to, but it's got to break above the 200, and a lot of these moving averages are slightly leveling off. If you wanted to start a position, definitely be very cautious and keep it on a very tight leash. If it doesn't break above the 200, because this is a double top right here, it could have a triple top and continue to sell off. So depending on which way you're looking at the market, that's just my 10 cents there. So TCEHY, no idea what this is. This is superly inconsistent. I can see this being consolidating, but there's too many gap fills. I have nothing to say on this guy. And then we have MJ. Oh wow, that's a short if it hits the 21, which is the yellow line. Wouldn't want to be touching that. We got Mr. Warren Buffett and Co. Berkshire. Oh, not. It's BRK.B. And spinning. Why is this not working? Is it? Maybe there's not a dot B. Okay, that's summarize E. Somehow Thinkorswim doesn't want to find that for me. Okay, we're just going to continue to go here. We have GLL. Oh, there we go. GLUU. This is interesting. Had a really bad quarter here, kind of stagnant here, below the 200. Again, if you're going long, keep it on a tight leash. Would be shorting probably at the $6.17 and keep it on a short leash as well. New residential is NRZ. This looks like a dividend. Looks like a dividend. Yeah, pretty nice dividend. 50 cents for, wow. That's a great little dividend. But huge swings and flows, like barely breaking above the 200 here. It had huge trouble below. It's failed multiple times in the past. Again, keep it on a very short leash. This is trying to move higher, but it's going to be running into some resistance and needs a lot of power to break out of that. Yamaha Gold, there. AYU. Wow. Gold's going to get hit kind of hard because a lot of the financial markets are going substantially higher right now, and people are going to be selling a lot of gold. So I can potentially see this going down to like the $3.25 or potentially even lower, depending on how the markets function this week. We've got IQ, which let's see here. Oh, this is interesting. So it's failed the 200-day 1, 2, 3. Could it be the fourth time? Or it has a lot more potential breaking out. This is something, again, we'll keep on a very tight leash, and it's going to take a lot of power to kind of break out of this range. Roku, which we actually currently own for the fund. This has been kind of an emotional ride of just getting an analyst coming out saying bad things, a quarter that was kind of missed, but growth is still strong, and the streaming services, huge gap downs on analyst predictions and so forth. I would be buying into this. I'm not buying some more now. I would like to see this consolidate and level off for me some more. I need to see some green before I start buying into that. We got Salesforce CRM. They had just a quarter a couple days ago, kind of bouncing back from that. Again, this is a range-bound stock between the 165 and the 140 level. I would just putting lines in between that, so we can go ahead and do that at a later date. And let's do Walmart. WMT is actually one we actually want to add to the fund. This has been a fantastic stock of just holding the 21. You can kind of see here, this is just holding the 21. This has a huge chance to rally. They're just taking it over. I would be buying that stock for sure. Next is Boeing Ba. Oh, this has been range bound as well. So the 390 and like the 325 level. It's going to have a lot of resistance. They have some stuff coming out regarding the potential of the Max 8 going back into the air. This has just been a little bit too much trouble. This is a lot of media and news related trouble, so I wouldn't be touching that unless it comes down to like a 325 level for me to buy again, because it has shown strong support. So GERN. This is a very dollar stock. I don't like this. This has a lot of overhead resistance. Not a big fan of that, even if it's $1. DNR. That's a downtrend if I've ever seen it. Super consolidating, below 200, having a horrible time trying to get out here. Not a good thing for me. Viking Therapeutics, so it's VKTX. Again, this is a pharmaceutical, most likely. A lot of this is going to be news related, so technically speaking, this could be a nice potential buy for a very small position. So, for example, if your portfolio was $1,000, I would be putting less than 50. So basically, just 5 basis points. Okay, all right. So what does that mean? That we're doing like less than 5, about of a percent, less than 1% of your portfolio on this. This is just this. That's what happens with pharmaceutical companies. VTTI, another fantastic Vanguard fund, total market stock market fund. Great thing to own. I love it. I would be buying more of this on a pullback. Pfizer, we have PFE. Again, larger pharmaceutical company. Been trading sideways, had a horrible quarter here. You can kind of see here, having troubles getting over this level at $39 here. If it can pull above 39 and close above 39, that might have enough power to break through the 200 there. Next, we have another energy stock, ENPH. This is interesting. This is super range bound. This has been a great runner. Again, holding that yellow line. Look how beautiful that is. Like, I put that on the 3rd thickness, so it takes the stock a lot to kind of come through it. Kind of had a huge sell-off here. Been trading in and around. More of a sell-off on the quarter, making a beautiful base here, holding the 200 and going higher. This would be I like this stock a lot, actually. This would be, technically speaking, this is very upward trending analysis. So we're going to do to Google. Google actually has 2, Class B and Class A. They're going to be both in this list. Hitting all-time highs. I love Google. They're going to be buying Fitbit for most likely. This is potentially going higher. It's broken again. We're in new territory, so it's hard to buy something that just has been breaking out at such high levels. GM. This is the car company manufacturer. This is something hard to trade because this is so tied to the market. I think overall, you can kind of see here, this chart kind of reads itself. So at $40 is like a very heavy resistance, and then at like 38, the low of 33. If this hits like $33 again, or right above around 30, this could be a great little buying opportunity to gobble up and just to kind of hold for a little bit. TWLO. Trilio, this has been, kind of see here, my first buy-in, or was at this level. Kind of came forth, had a little movement going higher, and kind of has been selling off, kind of consolidating. Hopefully for another little push higher to like the little bit past the Hyundai, and we probably will be selling off probably around the 105 level to be getting out of that position overall for the fund. Shopify, which is Shop, S-H-O-P, fantastic stock, super momentum here, it's huge jump ups. Hard to buy this. Potential high resistance around the 400-ish level. I like how it's kind of consolidating. These moving averages need to keep up. The 200-day is your friend. You can kind of see here that 200-day held fantastically. JD, Chinese company. This is crazy range bound as well. So 32 and 25, bouncing back and forth for the past 6 or 7 months. Had a great little quarter, but sold off and then kind of just trading sideways. This could be a potential turnaround and potentially try to hit the 35 level again. I wouldn't want to be investing too much into that. Verizon, another great dividend play here. I actually like this. Range bound in the sense of most of these. So it's at 60. Needs to break out. It has a lot of momentum behind it. Volume with these little blue lines down here needs to pick up to potentially keep that up there and move it higher. Next is Dropbox, DBX. Did I write that? Yeah, Dropbox. Yeah, I wouldn't want to touch that. That's been beaten up a little too much for me. It's broken below this. At 17, it's low. That's the only support that I could see on this chart. I wouldn't want to be putting any money into Dropbox. RX. Another pharmaceutical company is a CPRX. Very heavily traded on volume, on the sense of probably news and earnings. It's the 200-day has held in the past. You can kind of see here throughout the past year. This would be a nice buying opportunity. I would be buying this at this level, honestly. So I'm making a little side list to myself on what companies I would like to put some money into. Luckin Coffee, which is I think it's the Chinese Starbucks. This is a newer IPO of this year as well. It's breaking out of the 26 level and now making all-time highs at 33.48. These moving averages are pulling up. I kind of like this for potentially going higher. I like that company. Costco, which is COST, fantastic trading so far on this heavy yellow line. Earnings coming up, which could be, again, earnings are a complete crapshoot, and this could be, they could have, say, some negative things and pulling back. Like, as you can see here, multiple times that it did have some negative things to say, and it pulls back, and it can pull back quite drastically because things are kind of leveling off, and then it's been kind of selling off slightly when other companies in the sector has been going higher. Pinterest, PINS. Ooh, that's again another IPO stocks this year. Wouldn't want to be touching this as well. It's literally hit an all-time low of basically Thursday. Really don't want to be this. This is bottom fishing at its finest. Don't want to be touching that. BILI. Don't know what this company does, but that's okay. We're looking at the chart. It looks like we're hitting some resistance here at 1740. Let me get a drink of water real fast. That's much better. Hitting some resistance here at the 1748 and the low here. So it looks like the 1325 is a fantastic hold for this company. A lot of these moving averages are moving up. It's above the 200. Would like to do more research on what this company does, but that doesn't seem all too bad. Sony SNE. Wow, this thing's been off to the races. Holy moly guacamole. Like, this is fantastic. They pay that's great. They pay a 1-year dividend. Wow, it's $40 a couple months ago? Where the heck have I been? Are they doing something I don't know? That looks fantastic. That's tough to buy into, but you can kind of see here the 21 or the 25, depending on what you use, is a great potential to buy in. So this is like the 34 here and the 50. So this is the 34, 50. Why do I have two 50s? This is my blue one. What is this? 34. So my purple line there. Sony, another CARA Therapeutics. Yikes, something happened there, boys. I don't know what happened there, but something just took them way down. Don't want to be touching that actually right now. That's going to no man's land. In theory, if it hits support, the next support level is basically $12. So I wouldn't be touching that honestly until it kind of levels off, unless you wanted to roll the dice, as they say. AKS, which is a steel company. Wow, that's fantastic for steel. I would be getting out of this. Actually, sorry, not getting out of it. I want to take a longer look at this. Where did this come from? Ugh. Yeah, overall that's a downtrend. You can kind of see here on a longer time frame. The 89 falling 89 could potentially a way to get out, because this has some big runs in the past and kind of consolidated and just sold back off again. That's a substantially huge downtrend there if I've ever seen it. ABBV. This is interesting. This is not okay. This is what I'm talking about. So once it breaks out above the 200 here, fantastic. All the momentum is going higher. Moving averages are going higher. Then kind of stagnates. It's just taking a break, and this can potentially go to hit 100 plus. So let's go ahead. So 92 is a pretty good insight. 92, 91. So this potentially could go higher. Keep it at a very short lease. So if you buy it in on this following week at 87, I would be kind of keeping on a short lease a little bit below the 85.25, 85.50 level. Chris CRSP, I think is a pharmaceutical company, or technology in that sense of the pharmaceutical business. This has just been off to the races due to the technology. I remember reading about this a lot. Very speculative. pretty high priced. Looking, let's do some long-termer stuff. Exactly, so this is what I kind of expected. The 73 level could be a double top on the weekly chart, and it could potentially level off here or go lower or even go higher. This is just something to be completely aware of. This has been a huge run-up after this quarter, and it just kind of needs to level off or take a breather, as they say. CVS, fantastic little company, totally changes the way they innovated, breaking above the 200, continue going higher, slightly consolidating up here. I still do like this. This is a great long-term play, and we'd love to add this to our portfolio. SPWR, looks like a SunPower company. Yikes, okay, that's a downtrend. I don't want to touch that. I'd be selling it if it hit the 21. Be selling it short or so forth. Yeti, AETI. Wow, okay, this is interesting. This is, again, super range bound between the 34 and 26 level. So it looks like you can call this kind of a double top. I'm not a completely technically sound if it has to hit that dot, but you can kind of see a lot of overhead resistance at the 34, 36, and then the 38 level. Potentially a buying opportunity around the 28 to like the 26 level if you want to hold it for a little bit longer term than a quick trade. Target, so TGT, this has been off to the races as well. Been doing a lot of digging into this company. Keeps beating earnings, just been going gangbusters. I love how it's consolidating up here and potentially a great move higher. So next is LLNW. What did they do? Limelight Networks. Okay. I don't like this. So this is something that it's breaking below 21, which is showing a lot of the momentum guys and gals are getting out. And I don't see much resistance until you hit like the $3 or even the $3 level, the $3.50 or the $3 level here. It's completely Trevor here. Treva pharmaceutical industry. Again, having a huge problem here in the 200. It's holding the 21. This is something that it'd be kind of difficult to play. It hasn't broken out above the 200, but a lot of the moving averages are sideways. If there's something fundamentally that's sound, I would be buying into it. UGAZ, I think this is like a VIX, yeah. This is basically like a 3x ETF VIX. Usually don't get into these markets. I did a quick comparison on another channel. All right, so Mcd Mcdonald's, we actually own this. You can kind of see here, we bought in around the 193 level. It's just been trading sideways. I would be adding to this. I feel like McDonald's, it has a great potential, just like Starbucks. They have a huge market cap, a huge, great dividend, and such a huge user base that love and adore the company and their products. So I feel like this would be a great little adding position. They had some trouble with the CEO doing some bad stuff. What is this? Robotics Etf. Okay, that's interesting. I like this. Looks like a triple top here for me. Just want to be aware of it. Doesn't mean it's a bad thing. If it breaks out above this, like to see a slightly pullback. The 21 looks like it's pretty sound in the very short term. If you're looking at the long term, this has been very range bound between like the 21 level and like the 18. So definitely keep your eye on that. Next is Under Armour UAA. This thing has been kind of beaten up too. I wouldn't be putting my money in Under Armour, even though if you like the clothes, if you like the rock, whatever, Nike's your better bet. They've been performing slightly better because this is a horrible chart below the 200. Stitch Fix SFIX. This is actually one that we've been looking at for the portfolio. I do like this. It needs to break above the 200. I like how it's kind of consolidating here slightly. We do have earnings coming up, which could be a potential to add. Let's say if I want to put 1,000 into this or 500, I put in 250 or half of my position now and half after they report. So if, for example, if they literally say, hey, listen, all our inventory just got shrunk. Someone put them all in the wrong washing machine and everything just shrank. Bada bing, our whole company's done. I wouldn't be buying into it, of course. That being said, if right now would buy a couple shares after earnings report, and if they kind of go off and hold like the 21 or the $20 level, we'll be adding some more if the overall story is still good. Zoom, which is another IPO stock that happened this year, has been was a huge uprun and now kind of downtrending slightly even after earnings. Wouldn't want to be buying this. This is going to be bottom fishing. You could play this as a double or triple bottom down here around the $60 level, but it just had earnings. I kind of want it to level off for the next 2 or 3 days. Johnson & Johnson, J&J. This is a fantastic dividend stock. Continue to grow. Kind of see here this range of 140 and 126. It just kind of trades in between that through and through. This is something that we have owned. Kraft Foods, so it's KHC. Yeah, that's terrible. Below the 200, having a hard time breaking above the 89 here. If you wanted to trade this, I would keep a very short stop on it, because looking at it much more zoomed in, I would not want it to break below the 200 again, and it needs to hold that going forward. And last but not least is another Google, which is, I think this is the Class C here, at all-time highs. It's going to be hard to buy. It's a very expensive stock. I wish they would split, but if any pullback, this would probably be a good story to buy. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is Ken from the Dyslexic Investor. If you have any stocks down below that you want me to look at, put it in the comments. Again, thank you so much for the love. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. More videos will be coming out soon. Again, peace. Have a great day. Later. Bye.